Welcome back into the Enrichment Sports Source. This segment I want to talk about some folks who've been in the news this week, some in the news today. We have Chuck Cavaleris over at the YP board, and he's there with Charlie Strong, Bob Stoops, James Franklin, and Bruce Pearl. Charlie Strong, I do want to say, he does not have a Spock ear. That is a bad job with the scissors at 1 o'clock in the morning as I tried to do a kindergarten hatchet job in cutting their faces out. But anyway, he's not actually a Romulan. All right, let's start here. In this segment, it's Call It. So I'm going to give you a couple options. Here's the deal. Number one, last year we gave Dave Hart a bit of a tough time for not locking down Charlie Strong and for allowing him to wriggle off the hook. Now, Charlie Strong has taken a long time to decide to finally, apparently, go to Texas, but it's been 2 or 3 days back and forth again. Does the fact that he looked at a job that's paying more money and is considered one of the top 5 jobs in the country, he looked at that one and waffled back and forth, does that make Dave Hart look a little better or not? You make the call. Does Dave Hart look better or not due to Charlie Strong wishy-washy with Texas?
I'll go or not.
You don't think it makes him look better?
I don't think it makes him look better because he had an agreement from Charlie Strong to be the coach at Tennessee and then got on a plane, came back to Knoxville, left Charlie Strong up there by himself. I think a better, stronger AD.
But so did Texas. That's just it. That's what I'm saying.
But I mean, he still went to Texas. So, but I'm going to say no. I think he should have brought him back to Knoxville with him as soon as they shook hands. Bring him back to Knoxville.
Okay. I understand Bob's point. I'm going to say better because I think you ended up with a better coach. Because I think that Butch Jones recruiting is what you have got to do.
Yep.
And I don't think Charlie Strong can recruit to the level that Butch Jones can.
But you just Cavaleris the question.
But Charlie Strong was not as good a recruiter as Butch Jones. Butch Jones beat him 2 out of 3 times head-to-head. Mm-hmm. And also, here's the thing: Charlie Strong is not the point person for a program. He's now going to get the Longhorn Network, and this guy is standoffish.
Yes,
and
he is.
I know there are people in the UT athletic department, not the ones trying to make the hire, but people under that, who thought, didn't need that guy here. He's a bunker mentality guy. I think it makes Dave Hart look a little better. I agree that he shouldn't have let him stay up there, but Texas did the same thing. And Texas had $2 million more a year to throw, and they're Texas. So I'm going to give him a break and say Dave Hart looks a little bit better. Mike?
I thought it was unfair to criticize Dave Hart last year. I thought you're better off getting the guy who wanted to be here. If Charlie Strong, you were having to twist his arm to, coax him to come up here, or his ear, and to me that doesn't work.
Chuck, you agree? I see you erase.
I agree because this seems to be more about the way Charlie Strong plays the situation,
right?
Instead of about how the athletic director. He might have said, "Hey, I'm not going to get on the plane and come back to Knoxville. I got to stay here and tell my players I'm leaving."
Well, I'll say this: if you're Louisville, the guy absolutely is clearly in love with Louisville. I think he does feel like he owes them something. He's shown that. So we got to be a little quicker. We took a lot of time on that one. Here's the next one. Bob Stoops said this week, Alabama's been rolling the SEC for the last 3 years, and we didn't seem to be overwhelmed by them. He then pointed out that Texas A&M and Missouri have done well, and they weren't ruling the Big 12 when they were over there. Is Stoops correct that the SEC is overrated? Call it. Stoops, right or wrong?
Wrong. You still got the national championships to point to. You still have 6 or 7 teams ranked in the top 25. And Missouri, its first year, didn't exactly bowl through the SEC. Now, I know they had some injuries and stuff, but I think he's wrong.
You're also 7-2 in bowl games this year. Isn't that right? 7-2 at this point with 1 to go?
Yeah, with Vanderbilt's win.
The facts Stoops stated were correct, but he's still wrong. The SEC is not overrated.
Right, and I believe he comes back and says, "Hey, I was talking about the bottom half of the SEC. I wasn't talking about the top half," but I still think he was wrong.
Okay, so
let's talk about the bottom half of the Big 12.
Well, see, that's what's that's what the difference is. All right, James Franklin, boy, finished 9-4 at Vanderbilt for the second year in a row. Whipped Houston, only throwing a half dozen passes, only throwing about 10 passes. It's the second team Vandy beat with a winning record this year. The Browns, that's Jimmy Haslam, UT booster. The Browns, the Redskins have asked for permission to talk to him. He's already interviewed reportedly with the Houston Texans before that job went to Bill O'Brien. He's on the list at Penn State, where Bill O'Brien just left. Where will James Franklin be coaching next year? You call it. Vandy, another school, NFL? Jimmy?
Other school. I think there'll be enough offers. His name's been mentioned pretty much everywhere, which can be a distraction or flattering. I think it's flattering for him. I just think he's going to wind up somewhere else. This is the time to go. I don't know that he's going to get any hotter at Vanderbilt than he is now.
16-4 in his last 20 games at Vanderbilt.
Only Alabama's better in the SEC.
Unbelievable. Wow. Yeah, and you can throw out the schedule at that point. I mean, you're 16-4. That's good coaching.
Other school.
Other school.
I'll say other school if a bunch of NFL teams fill their vacancy with college guys and create some vacancies. I don't know that there are a lot of college vacancies right now, but I think the dominoes will fall.
He's going to Louisville.
I think if he doesn't go to Penn State, and I saw, I keep going back to, can Penn State with their scandal hire a guy who just had a sexual assault case on his own team, and that's still open? That was written about by one of the Penn State, one of the columnists up there this week. They said, here are the problems with Al Golden, here are the problems with James Franklin. Even if he doesn't get that one, let's say Al Golden goes, I think James Franklin's going to be a top choice for the University of Miami. I say other school, but just barely. What do you think?
Other school, but has a college coach ever stayed in that city and gone to the NFL team there? Wouldn't that be something if he just stays in Nashville and is the next Titans coach?
Move down the street. I don't know. One thing that's also thrown out, the Vanderbilt fans will tell you, they can match anybody in the country money-wise. We'll see.
John Robinson did that, I think.
Yeah, to the Rams from Southern Cal. That's right.
Rams.
By the way, good thinking. Good question, good thinking. Patton Robinette, congratulations to him, by the way. Another bowl win, or a bowl win yesterday for Vanderbilt. Last week, guys, Bruce Pearl posted an interesting tweet about Louisville's Chris Jones, which left some folks scratching their heads. Let's show you. He said, how about Chris Jones? Grew up wanting to be a Vol. So he's talking about this guy in the Kentucky-Louisville game, but just throws out there, grew up wanting to be a Vol. Now, Bruce Pearl's doing this for ESPN. This is a national deal. This isn't just to Tennessee fans. Somebody came back and asked, hey, Coach, Chris Jones, didn't he commit to the Vols under you? And then Bruce Pearl said, Chris was signed, exclamation point. He's grown and developed, blah, blah, blah. Here's the deal. Now, his issues were academic. He didn't get in at Tennessee, didn't get anywhere else. That's why he wound up with Steve Forbes at his JUCO in Florida. Okay. Was that a little jab from Bruce Pearl, or was that just a statement of fact? Chuck, I'll start with you over there.
How about a little jab?
You think it's a little jab?
Oh, I do. Yeah, it's Bruce Pearl talking as the Tennessee coach and not the ESPN guy. I mean, who cares, really?
Yeah, outside of Tennessee, I didn't see any point to put that. What do you think, Mike?
I think there's some thought that after Chris Jones was down at Northwest Florida, he would have come back to Tennessee.
And Conzo didn't chase.
So there, I think it's a little bit of a jab, not a big jab, not a haymaker.
That's the thing. He's been very classy about this for the last 3 years. So I will say it's a little jab. There's no need to say. I think it's a little jab.
Jab. I think it's a jab.
You're probably right, but there's a part of me that wants to give him the benefit of the doubt in that he came out and said, look, quit talking about me being the next coach. The fans need to get behind Conzo Martin. It's unfair to the players and to the. So based on that, I'm going to go a little bit that it's more of a fact than a jab. Although I see your point about the jab, but I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Very good. All right. So we got better, wrong, other school, jab. All right. Very good. When we come back, we're going to talk scouting report. Mark Pankratz rejoins us. The arsonist couldn't get life insurance. What was that, the Anchorman thing? All right, Mark Pankratz is going to rejoin us. We're going to talk about LSU and Tennessee's big game on Tuesday night. Come on back.
You are watching East Tennessee's first and only year-round sports talk show on television.